You got 90 minutes. What do you do in there? I just always wonder. I've seen certain rain delays, but 90 minutes.
We just really, I can't even tell you what we did. We just talked, and they sat down in groups, and we had some guys in the locker room, some guys in the hall, some guys in the showers, some guys talking to coaches. There were kids everywhere, but it was just a time that 90 minutes. The only thing I thought about is how are we going to leave this locker room with the amount of time left to go in the game? Are we going to? And I should have had more confidence in our kids during that time than I did, but I was just sitting there questioning myself on how do you go about. We had some kids with shoulder pads off, some kids with shoulder pads on, shoes on. I mean, it just you got to relax.
Yeah.
You got to relax, and then after a 90 minute delay, you only get a 3-minute warm up.
Yeah, that was
right. So, we just I made the kids get up and do some stretching and stuff like that every 4 or 5, maybe 10 minutes, and we just did things like that and drank a lot of water and just tried to keep them focused and tell them they're going to be tested. Man, you're going out there for 8 minutes. You don't have a whole lot to win except a game. Why can't we score and get the onside kick? Who says we can't do that? So that's what we talked about mostly was, it was 4th down and they were punting. Why can't we get that ball and drive and score? And we did. We drove down and scored and we stopped them. And I really believe if we had that, I can't remember how we used the first time out in the second half, but I do know that if we had that one timeout left, we had 2 left. If we had one timeout, one timeout's worth 40 seconds in high school now. 40 seconds offensively, you can run 6 or 7 plays. So, we had to use our timeouts defensively, feeling that we can stop the ball, we can stop the clock offensively in different ways.
Right.
But if we just had that one thing. When Isaac caught that pass on out of bounds, there was 5 seconds left, and we were on the 44-yard line. What if there were 40 seconds left and we were on the 44-yard line? We're in great shape. We're in great shape to tie the game. So winning and losing, I mean, it's just inches between winning and losing, and that's what, as a coach, that's what I build on. You're inches away from winning and you're inches away from losing. So don't get too high when you win. Don't get too low when you lose. Get ready to get to the next game. And that's really what we're focused on right now, just tomorrow. And not even New Philadelphia right now. Let's just have a great walkthrough tomorrow, a great mental practice tomorrow. And Friday, I'm sure that our kids will be ready. And by New Philadelphia winning makes it even better,
Coach, and one more thing with that delay that you went through, because a lot of times, our viewers and our listeners maybe don't know all the ins and outs of that, but being on that side of things as a coach, being caught and involved in some delays in past years, and also as an administrator, was there any discussion at any point of moving it to the next day, resuming it the next day?
Nobody said anything to me about that. No.
Okay. I just wonder because sometimes, when they're looking at radar and what have you, that sometimes comes up in discussions about resuming the game the next day and what have you. And
I never even thought of that.
I know. I would never go for that.
You know what I thought of though? We did that with Niles one time, but I did think of, can they cancel the game?
Well, I was going to ask. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was, remember, Dan, up in the press box. There were people saying, well, they called the Niles Warren Howland game already.
Do we get a say in that?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you.
I forgot all about that. I should know that, but, I'm not the smartest tool in the box, but that's something that I should know that I didn't know that I was thinking of. Can they cancel this game? It's in the fourth quarter.
Both sides have to agree to it.
Sure.
Yes. 2013, we played Frontier, and it opened up right before the half, and we were leading Frontier, and the discussion came up. We weren't going to finish it that night, possibly resuming it the next day, and Frontier said if it was okay with us, they were ready. They would just call a game.
Really?
So if both sides agree upon it, that can happen.
Okay. Yes. Well, I wouldn't agree upon that because not that we still could have won, but I still want our players to finish.
Right.
And if we had to go back up the next day, I mean, I would hate that, but that's you got to do what you got to do. But talking about I thought that ran through me a few times. Can they cancel this game? So.
Yeah, because I know they did. Like I said, they were saying they canceled Niles and Warren Holland already.
Right.
Well, so you're saying that they both agreed then?
Yeah, they must have both.
Yeah, they had to have both agreed.
I should have looked at the score to see what maybe one team was up big and they were just like, that's enough. But, but enough with that. Let's move on to Philadelphia. What can you tell us, Coach? What kind of offense they running? And
they
talked a little bit about it earlier.
They run a multiple offense. They don't get under center though. They're a gun team. They run some sidecar, some pistol. So they do run all three of those. They run pistol with no back, pistol with a fullback, and no tight end, or a pistol with a tight end and no fullback, or a pistol with both. And so they're a multiple team, but they're always in the shotgun. The receivers, 167, 215.
Wow.
I don't remember him from last year, but he was a basketball player, so maybe this is his first year out. Their other receivers are about our size. Tight end's a good-sized kid. Fullback's also the middle linebacker. Really good, tough kid. The tight end, number 87, is a defensive end. And their tailback, they run two different tailbacks. Their quarterback's a junior, and so they're multiple on offense. Defensively, they're in a 3-down line. Sometimes they're in a 3-2. Sometimes they're in a 3-3. Sometimes they're in a 3-4. But they always have a 3-man front. We just have to identify, gaps or where they're lined up. So identification's a big thing in our offense, and. But our offense is, and you guys have been watching us long enough. Everything comes off our inside run, and so you have to make that go. Doesn't mean you have to do that first thing in the game. You might open up the game with a play action pass or something like that. But our offense is determined by the box, and so that's all I can tell you. Defensively, they have 4 kids back, 2 defensive linemen, a linebacker, and a safety. Offensively, they have a tackle, a guard, a center, the fullback, and a receiver back from last year. Their kicker kicks the ball not deep, but they spray the ball around, 120, sometimes in the middle, sometimes on the hash. So all our guys have to be prepared to defend the kickoff. In punting, their punter average is 37 yards a punt, but they only punted twice. They punted once against Green in the preview and once against Louisville last week.
Absolutely. Coach, just real quick, and I know this is down the road here, the road here a ways, but just to bring up and mention teams in your region this year. Seems like it's going to be a pretty good region again this year.
Yeah.
Columbus Hartley and Columbus Reedy, Carrollton, Cambridge, Columbus East, Sheridan, Licking Valley, St. Clairsville, Indian Creek, and Indian Valley. Some of those teams made the playoffs a year ago. Some of those same teams return some players.
And Sheridan was added to our region.
Yes.
So that's a big addition. I think they were Division III last year. Now they're 4, and I think they might either be the biggest or second biggest team in our Division IV team. I think we're like 3rd or 4th, but they're very well coached. Their coach, his dad was a coach for probably 25 years. Passed away last year, being a really good coach. I met him when he was at Buckeye Local, and they're a very well coached football team. They're a very well coached sports team. Period. All sports. So they were a big addition to our region, along with the Hartley and Bishop Reedy. I think it's Bishop Reedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So and then St. Clairsville and us, and it's going to be Indian Valley. I mean, it's going to be a good region.
Yep.
And Coach, that's going to wrap it up. I appreciate your time. Before you go, though, I forgot last week, and I was going to say happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy belated
Yes.
birthday.
I always remember his birthday because it was my dad's. I said two great men share the same birthday.
You think I wasn't miserable on my birthday this year? But misery loves company.
That's
So.
right. Yeah, he said he was going to call you. Did he call you? He said, I'm going to call Coach Saka.
No.
Happy birthday.
Wish I had your dad's number. I'd call him. But he's one of the great ones from Weir High, and man, wasn't he good?
That's what they tell me.
I can remember Leon Jenkins. I mean, I know that name, and he was even better at WVU. But I mean, he was a player, and then you and your brother broke his heart by playing basketball and baseball, and broke his heart, man.
No, it's his fault I didn't play football. He told me not to play.
He's been limping ever since you guys bailed out.
No, I get mad at him. Good luck this Friday, Coach T. That's Coach Reno Sockhouse. It's two real big red portion of the Coaches Show, sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance. After a commercial break, we'll be right back with Coach Andrew Connor of the Indian Creek Redskins.
When it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Has to play for Franciscan University.
Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red Head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
That was for just open.
You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Everhart Bove Funeral Home, they believe you should take care of your loved ones while you still can. Pre-planning at Everhart Bove ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bove Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bove Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
And we are back, folks, here at Bennigan's. Wednesday, where we are every Wednesday night during football season. The Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. We're here with Coach Andrew Connor of Indian Creek. This portion of the show is sponsored by Everhart Bove Funeral Home. Well, once again, Coach, thank you for giving us. I know it's busy this football season hits, and we appreciate you giving us your time.
I appreciate it.
Down here.
Appreciate being here. Thank you.
And just want to say, congratulations. Big win. We talked about last week how important it was to get out early and try to get that first win on the road. And you guys did a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Kids played hard, and for us, it's been a while since we won the opener. I think the kids started off the game well. We were able to, survive the rain delay. And, anytime you're on the road and you have to stop a game and you're in somebody else's locker room, you could use that as an excuse. And our kids didn't. We came out right afterwards, and, we were able to finish the football game.
Coach, one of the biggest things, I had an opportunity to catch the highlights, of your game. I was out of town, came into school, so I did catch the highlights, and then Coach Hammock was kind enough to show me a few plays from your huddle and what have you. What a difference a year has made in the maturity of some of your guys that got kind of thrown to the fire a year ago. Specifically, I have a soft spot for the Twins, I had him in class last year. I'm a big fan of offensive linemen, and I saw Nyshawn in the hallway today, and I just complimented him on how much better he's moving his feet this year.
He is. I mean, he's him and Samaji both have really been, worried about their weight. Both guys, have expectations beyond high school football, and they worked hard in the summer. We went to some camps, Youngstown and other places, and they were focused. And I think they're very proud of how they look right now. And then again, that allows them to move better. They're a main part of the 5 guys we return as a group on that offensive line. And I told the Kiwanis, they say, what's the biggest difference between this year and your driver's license?
Mm-hmm.
Some of our kids actually have driver's license now, and that's probably probably one of the things I'll most remember about coaching during this time period is I had a chance to coach those kids when they were young, and we took our lumps last year, and I think that experience and seeing what they needed to work on in a way where you see it during a game, it goes a long way.
Yeah, and you talked about, wanting to establish your style of play, and it looked like, when I saw that you were able to, from the beginning of the game establish, even like the newspaper said, ground and pound. I mean, you went right at them. So were you able to, do what you wanted, go the way you wanted to go?
Well, the thing for us was, we wanted to start getting back to physical football, and that was on both sides of the ball, and I think we did on both sides. I think the important thing for us is, we have obviously Zion is our lead back, and and we're blessed with a kid who, is able not only just to run the ball, but he can do so many things with his feet, and then we're able to kind of go with Gavin Pinal, and then we have a freshman in Worrells, and so with all that, Brett is a speedster as a freshman. Gavin's more of that middle ground guy, is a break guy for Zion, but it's the offensive line for us, and we wanted to establish the line of scrimmage. I think we did on both sides. The only thing that would kind of, make me go back a little bit is, still trying to get over that hump of getting to a program that's consistent. We left points on the field that we should have used and scored on, and then we gave up some big plays defensively, and but that stuff is with growth. I mean, there's stuff we have to clean up. We know that going into this week. But, overall, I think the mentality that we want to get back to, we got back to.
Awesome.
So this week's opponent, East Liverpool, new head coach. Okay, not a new head coach, but new to the program there. Coach Cusick was at Crestview for a number of years. And just looking at them as a team, what has he brought with him? As far as a program, have they changed style? Have they changed their offense? Have they changed their defense? So on and so forth.
I think probably the biggest thing, and you would know this as being a head coach, he brought stability and organization. I think those are the 2 biggest things. You can tell just the way they do things now. I'd gone against Coach twice. When he was at Crestview, he played Indian Creek, and just seeing him in all those Quad County meetings and seeing how he's programmed, he's brought them stability. And I think, as the year goes on, you'll see more and more of that. I think his running game is good. I think, he knows how to spread the field. I think he knows how to use formations. I think there's a lot of things that they have, and they have talent. They have a lot of speed. They have a big offensive line, and I think he's going to use what they have and channel that into giving them the best opportunity to win. Defensively, same thing. So you could see just the quality of coaching is going to be important for their program. And again, the stability of their program. And, we watched them against Minerva and against Crestview in their preview game. They do things well. And I think that's the sign of a good football team is, you want to do things well, and they do that now.
Yeah. Coach, there's one thing before, I move on any further. There's one question I specifically wanted to ask you because we talked about it, openly last year that you were, you'd be good for 3 plays and then bad for 1 big play, or you'd be good, for so far in so many series, and then all of a sudden, this year you jumped out, 15-0, and then, Cambridge scores, they make the game close. What was the message to keep the kids thinking, okay, here we go again, what was the, because you jumped right back at them, and, I think that's just one of the, you said, a big improvement from.
Our motto this year is embrace the journey. And I try to tell the kids, football, they always say it's the 10 fastest weeks. And to people watching it, it is. But for a football program, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I told the kids there's going to be ebbs and flows of the game. We just have to be able to overcome those bad moments we're going to have, because every football team at every level is going to have bad moments. It's whether or not you can stop the bad moments before they snowball into something worse. And I thought our kids learned that lesson last year.
Exactly.
And I saw the leadership that we expected from our older kids now, those juniors and seniors now that have played for us. And I think they did a good job of calming us and getting back to playing football again. And again, one of the things I want to say is, we sat there in that locker room for maybe an hour. It seemed like 15 hours, but an hour. I want to thank the people that stayed. We had some people that stayed, our fans, our parents, children, they stayed there. And I think when we went back out, that was an important part for us, to see that there were still people there and kind of give us some energy, because, we scored right away, and then we faced some adversity on our kickoff team, and we gave up a score, but we didn't falter. And I think that's the biggest thing for us. Right. Don't falter. Take the blows. And I always told them, we talked about, maybe landing the first punch. I said what I was going to look at was when they finally landed a punch on us, what would we do? Because, we joked, everybody's got a plan until you get hit. And then you have to decide what that plan is. And I think our kids did really well of being able to take some hits, take some blows, and not have us go downhill as we did last year in a couple of our games.
Yeah, that was a big thing to me. I saw that they'd scored and you guys came right back. So that was huge. And I did want to ask you, I asked Coach Salkach too, what do you do in the locker room for an hour?
It's hard. I mean, you want to walk around, make sure they're hydrated. You want to keep them focused, but you don't want them to be like jumping up and down because you don't know. I mean, and one of the things that told them out there was we were not coming back. We were going to sit there. If we had to play at 4 a.m., we were playing at 4 a.m. Right. So I think our kids knew by the way I went in, telling them, hey, buckle up. We're not going home. At no point am I leaving this stadium. I'm finishing this game. So I think that helped them too, and I think they did a good job. And again, that's part of that learning curve. Last year we wouldn't be able to handle that. Right. Last year we would have lost our focus, but our kids did everything they were supposed to. They, they ate some granola bars. They drank water. They knew they were going to go back out there. And our older kids, kept reminding those kids, knock it off, pay attention, settle down. And you need leadership. Yeah. And I told them, I can't always be coach-driven. If you're going to be good, some point your kids have to be the leaders of their team. And I think our captains did a good job. Our older kids did a good job. And we stayed focused because we went right back out there and we finished the game. And, that's kudos to those kids. But, again, we went through hard times. And, it's one of two things. You're either going to continue to go down this road or you're going to say enough's enough. And I'm hoping now that I saw that early part of our year where we said enough's enough.
That's awesome.
Coach, mentioning there, how your kids respond to adversity and so on, and how it's, a different attitude with that this year and so on and so forth. I'm privy to a little bit of inside information, but I learned the other day that you had a key loss the day before the game. You had a key loss the day before the game, one kind of a freak thing, losing Bodo to injury. Your kids responded to that. Okay, did you feel that? Did you feel that loss by committee, or did you have? Because I know you have depth. I know you have a lot of depth this year compared to previous years. Who was able to step up, or was it multiple guys that stepped up to fill that void left by that injury?
We kind of were multiple guys. I mean, first of all, Caleb did a great job because he didn't pout, and he's a captain,
right.
And he did a good job on the sidelines of redirecting his energy to be a leader. So that's a lot because you hurt one shoulder, you're all ready to go, and then you hurt the other shoulder in a walkthrough. Right. You could pout, and he didn't.
Right.
And then Timmy Christian, Jomar Johnson, George Zadansky, Wyatt Doan, they did this by committee. We played a lot of guys there, and they responded well. We kept moving guys in and out, and I joked, a lot of times when you watch us play, our defensive line looks like a hockey change. I mean, we sending guys out, we're sending guys in, and everybody knows your role, and I think they all responded to the fact, Caleb said, hey, I'll be out 2 weeks. You guys do your job, get me 2 W's, and I'll be back. And I think everybody kind of responded well to that, and the biggest thing for us was, to me, was just the way the offense. Joe Hammy did such a good job of spreading the wealth between all our guys and getting to 350 yards and being able to rush the ball. He did well with Zion to getting Zach Byard involved, and the offense is a work in progress. I think we're just going to get better and better, and I think defensively, Coach Osmond and Coach Kemp did a really good job of doing what they had to do there. And, just the coaching staff in general, whether it was Coach Robinson, Coach Wagner, Coach Wilson, Coach Davis, Coach Karras, those guys all did a great job. Guys were coaching and hollering and screaming, and the kids saw how energetic they were, and they kind of fed off that, and that's important. Your first game out, you want to be good.